Welcome to Nick Nack's Corner. I'm Nick, wearing my wizarding robe in a corner. Today, we're actually going to talk about some wizards. Terry Pratchett's The Color of Magic. This book is weird. It's Discworld Book 1. I'm sure many of you have heard of Discworld. I have, and then I didn't even check it out because I was intimidated by the number of books. There's something like 40 plus books in this series. But they're all very thin and small, which, for fantasy doesn't happen very often. And I really enjoy reading what Terry Pratchett's doing. How can I introduce this piece of work? It's odd, it's strange, funny, satirical, weird, and wonderful. One moment you're floating through space on the back of the turtle Atuin, a giant space turtle, and there's also 3 or 4 large elephants that hold up the Discworld on its back, and the next moment you're on a plane sipping cocktails. It's really weird. And also, we got a really cool wizard in here, and dragons and all that sort of wonderful stuff. It's a very interesting book. Almost no plot. We follow a wizard named Rincewind, who is hysterical throughout this entire book. He works with Twoflower, who is an optimistic the whole book as well. And we get to meet dragons, and my favorite character is Death. I just love the way he is in this book. I said this already, it doesn't have a strong plot if there is one at all. If there is one, please tell me what the plot of Color of Magic is. I would love to know. And it's just so wacky and crazy and whimsical. Whimsical? Is that a word to describe this book? Perhaps. It's not very dark or anything. It's kind of fun. It's very fun. So I would say it's whimsical, I suppose. Cheery a little. Odd. But not in a bad way. This book is extremely interesting and fun, as said earlier, with a weak plot. However, has very strong characters. The character development in this is fun, if you could call it character development, but it is, in a sense. I felt confused for most of the way through, but compelled to turn every page. Because the way Terry Pratchett writes is a very different voice altogether. We'll touch on that later. I love how small the book was. It comes in at 287 pages in the mass market edition. So it is a very quick read, which makes the absurdness bearable and also very enjoyable. I wouldn't even know what to compare it to, as I feel like it's in a class of its own compared to any other books. Maybe Neil Gaiman, but even then Neil Gaiman is not nearly the same as what Terry Pratchett is. So I found it funny, and I did love it, even though it wasn't the best. But I've heard it's one of the weaker entries into Discworld, so I'm very interested to see the stronger entries. My favorite part is definitely with Death, where he's supposed to meet Rincewind in Pesiphalopolis, Pesiphalopolis? Let's call it that. My English literature teacher pulled that little excerpt from this book here and made us read it as a poem, when I was going to the Mount, and when I found that in this book, I was quite surprised to see it in there, and also very happy about it, because it was one of my favorite poems that we read while we were in class, and I just thought it was kind of like nice and strange and fun. Here we are with Terry Pratchett. Terry Pratchett has a very fun voice that lends to the story. He has a style all of his own, and I have massive respect for that, because to have a style of your own, especially one that's so weird, and for it to get published and to take off and all that sort of stuff, it's kind of like a writer's dream that you can get away with that, to be honest. He's weird and yet enjoyable, very enjoyable. I could not put the book down. I was glued to it, and I was always excited to see what would happen next. For a book that has no plot, it moved along at a very good speed, and I'm gonna have to dive into the other books, so look for more Discworld. Did Terry Pratchett achieve his goal? I think so, because it's the first of 40 plus books in an entire series. It's fun, it was hilarious, and I think the ultimate goal is to make people laugh and connect with it, and I think a lot of people do. I don't know if the Discworld community is very large or not, but I was quite a fan of it, and I am looking forward to reading more of his stuff. This book is for you. If you want something that's not your usual comedy, or fantasy, in that matter, I suppose this book would be satire, and it works well at doing it. Also, it's a very short read, so if you're looking for something you can just pick up and knock off in like a day or two, this book is fantastic for it. And like, highly recommend it to anyone who's looking for just something fun and whimsical, and not looking for anything too serious or a stable plot, because if you're looking for a stable plot, this book is going to lose you just like that. This is a very fun book to read. Thank you to my friend Erin. Hi, Erin. For giving this book to me. We did a book swap. I gave her Eye of the World, Wheel of Time Part 1. She gave me this one, and we're both reading them. And this was fantastic. Terry Pratchett is a comedy genius and should be appreciated as such. And I guess the only thing I can really say is just go read this weird, wacky, fun book. It is so strange, but fun. The sword fight in this is hilarious. I love it. The dragons, I can't even start with the dragons for you, because they're just hilarious when all that happens. Anyway, folks, all my social medias will be down below. Please give a like, subscribe, thumbs up, comment. I want to know what your favorite Discworld book is. Maybe I'll add it to my list and pick it up sooner than later. Also, I would just love to say that this is my new format I'm going to go with for making videos, and I hope that you enjoyed and that it's more informal than previous. Anyway, thank you very much, guys, and have a fantastic day.